Hey, my name is Susan Mwangi, and welcome to the third section of personal security awareness. And what is the goal of us learning about personal security awareness? Is because you need to be able to recognize a risk. You know, this is the risk, and be able to know what are the potential dangers, all right? Understand how to be able to respond when you when you face them, and you take proactive measure to ensure that you protect yourself and you protect your loved ones. So we are focusing on key aspects which are referred to the principles of personal security, and this involves preparation. You need to be ready, you need to prepare, and that's why I'm here helping you to prepare. You need to be able to detect. You can be able to detect what is happening, and they say common sense is not common to everyone, and I believe that is so, because at times we are not able to use our common senses to pick. And what are the common senses? Ability to see, ability to smell, ability to taste, ability to hear, and ability to touch. At times you can smell, like now for instance, if there's tear gas somewhere, you can smell that there's tear gas. If there is someone doing something that you know is a criminal activity, you can actually see, and so forth. So at times we usually say, by the way, I saw it, but I didn't do anything about it. So at times this sixth sense is very important. As much as we call it a sixth sense, it's not sixth. You actually used your common sense. And so preparation, one. Secondly, detection. Thirdly, deterrence. Fourth, delay or defense. All right, so these are the key things that we'll be looking at in details, so that you can be able to see how do I make sure that I'm safe. And by understanding these goals of personal security, you will be at a space where you can be able to safeguard your well-being. All right, so what are the key things that you are looking at? I know I'll say many key things because all these things are important. So one is awareness. That's why we are here, so that you can be aware. And other than knowing about let's say the issues of security, you need to be aware about your environment, your surroundings, and the potential threats. And then you need to be able to avoid staying clear of situations that threaten or that put you in danger. And we do this so many times. Like now, for instance, you are going, let's say our general setting, you know, around this time, if I use this route, their chances are nitapigwa ngeta, or chances are I lose my phone. So what happens when you're going through that area? Make sure that your phone is put at a place where one cannot easily take it away from you, or make sure that you don't carry that phone, all right? Or make sure that you are in a situation where you're not an easy threat. We'll go back into details. And then thirdly, it's the issue of de-escalation techniques, all right, how you can be able to use both verbal and non-verbal communication to diffuse potential or potentially volatile situations. And I know in this I know an area that we're all looking at is kidnappings, and definitely we will be able to look at kidnappings, and we see how do we go about it, or how do we get ourselves in such situations. So key of the principles that we'll be looking into details as we move on would be situation awareness. I've said awareness, know your environment, risk assessment. How do you assess your risk? You're not looking at it at a very big way. Like now, for instance, let me take a good example. I want to go and do some shopping of, let's say, some electronics in River Road in Kenya, or I want to go to Gikomba, all right, and get something from Gikomba. I know the place is crowded, so I need to be able to know how to dress, right? I need to be able to know how to carry my bag. If the rest of the places when you're in Moi Avenue, you're carrying your bag at your back and you're comfortable there, if you have a rucksack, make sure that it's facing the front, because you never know, it may not be there. You may only be having your holders holding them like this, and the bag already left. So how do you assess the situation, and then how do you risk? You know what's the risk, and then know how you are able to work on it. What are the security strategies that you're talking about? This will be small strategies, like making sure that when you put things in your bag, that you zip it so that it's not you're not an easy target. If it is in your car, make sure that if you're in a place where maybe you're moving, don't leave all your windows down and you have your laptop bag behind there or something that someone can pick. And then also incident response, in case there's an incident, how do you respond? And then travel security, and this travel is not necessarily going far. Even when I'm not going far, when I'm within my surroundings, when I'm moving, how do I go about it? And finally, hostile environment awareness. So how do I deal with this? So what are the risks that we have for ourselves now before we go to the nitty-gritties? One, theft. That is very common. These are the risks to our specific specific threats to our personal security. So there's theft, which is common, there's robbery, there's burglary, there's assault, there is rape, there's stalking, plus all the others that I had mentioned before. So the next one will be the most interesting.